It is January 30th, 2018. This is the Watchman News, and I'm Mike Callahan. So the newsletter was out just a little behind today, about an hour behind. My apologies for that. My arm is giving me a fit. And there has been new QAnon posts today. However, you would probably be better served to go watch the video that Roy Potter did last night on it. And the video that BP Earthwatch did today on it, because they decipher it way better than I could ever imagine to. So, however, I felt like this article was extremely important for me to get out there because I see what they're doing. I understand their tactic here, and I'll explain that a little bit more. This is going to affect a lot of us. So let's go ahead and get on over to the article. This was included in the newsletter today. Facebook to deliver more local news to U.S. users. I'll read the article, then I'll give you my thoughts. Facebook said Monday it has decided to deliver more local news to U.S. users in its latest effort to manage the flow of information on the enormously influential social network. Earlier this month, Facebook announced it will ask its 2 billion users to rank their trusted news sources as part of an effort to combat the spread of misinformation. The changes come as the online giant seeks to address changes that it has failed, along with Google and Twitter, to prevent the spread of false news, especially ahead of the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Local news helps build community both on and offline, Facebook co-founder and chief executive Mark Zuckerberg said in a post on the social network. It is an important part of making sure the time we all spend on Facebook is valuable. Zuckerberg traveled around the U.S. last year visiting with Facebook users. One theme people kept telling me is how much we all have in common if we can get past some of the most divisive national issues, Zuckerberg said in the post. Many people told me that they thought if we could turn down the temperature on the more divisive issues and instead focus on concrete local issues, then we'd all make more progress together. Now, I want to say something here. I'm going to interrupt the article here real quick. Here's the thing. And I want you to pay close attention to this. I want you to pay close attention to if your local mainstream news networks, like one of ours is KMOV, if their posts are kind of held back and you don't see them as much. Because I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of division, more division than not, coming from the mainstream news narrative, okay? But most of that division is based on fake news from them, okay? It's an obvious propaganda war, and it seems to me that the only ones that are really going to be affected by this are those like us that try to bring truth to the forefront, and I'll get to that a little bit more here in just a moment. Let's see. He also cited research suggesting that reading local news prompted people to be more engaged in their communities. Facebook is showing U.S. members more stories from news sources in their cities or towns and plans to begin doing the same in more countries later this year. Recent changes at Facebook include a new trusted sources ranking intended to make sure the news you see is high quality and to foster a sense of common ground rather than to sow division, Zuckerberg said in a previous post. Now, with this, I want to make the comment about these trusted sources, okay? If you notice, there are more and more people that are pushing mainstream news reporters away. When there are protesters, when there's this and that, even with the Bundy trials, we've seen some of that, okay? Because people know, right? People that are actually in the thick of things and see how they actually unfold and then see how the news said they unfold, know the propaganda and the lies that are being told, okay? So really, trusted news sources, trusted by who? Us or those that want to control the narrative? That's a serious question to ask here. Facebook decided to rely on member surveys to rank trust in news sources. A freshly introduced update highlights what friends and family share on the network over advertisements, celebrity, and media posts. And I'll tell you this, I've seen more advertisements, and I use AdBlock Plus, okay, which used to take care of the advertisements. Now it's not on Facebook. And I see more advertisements now than ever before. I'm seeing more celebrity posts about politics than ever before. Again, they're not doing what they're saying. What they're doing is controlling the narrative. That's what they're doing. The company cast the changes as part of a refocus on community, prioritizing social interactions and relationships, even if that means people spend less time on the platform. Known for annual personal goals ranging from killing his own food to learning Chinese, Zuckerberg's stated mission for this year is to fix the social media or the social network. He plans to target abuse and hate as well as interference by nation states. Russia. Folks, again, this is a total effort to absolutely control the narrative. And he will actually do it. He more or less says it. Even if people spend less time on the platform. Okay? So he's ready to take the ship down in order to pander to the global elite, in which he has done ever since the beginning. Folks, we were using social media to be able to get out real information, true information. And there's a lot of folks out there that are using it for just the opposite, to spread lies, to spread propaganda. During the campaign season was absolutely horrid. However, here's the thing. You run into the problem to where if you start saying that or acting on the idea that, hey, we're going to stop this fake news. Well, who decides who's got fake news? Who decides what is real and what is fake? Because if you listen to mainstream media, guess what? 90% of what you're hearing is absolute bull. Okay? So we really got to look at this. We really have to call this out. And the other thing I wanted to point out that it's doing is it's putting people in their own little bubbles again. Okay? If they don't let national things be discussed openly between us, guess what? That information, let's say I share a story on our Facebook page, right? And if it was limited to just local people, and yet it's a national or even worse yet, a global story, then guess what? How many people will be unaware of what is going on? Folks, it's an information war. Absolutely an information war. So I would suggest that people start to become more active as far as seeking out things. Like, for instance, those that rely on seeing the Watchman news in their news feed as they scroll along on Facebook. You may actually have to start going to our Facebook page to see what's being posted. There's already been a big war waged on that. There is a lot of stuff that I don't see on Facebook. I have to actually go to the different pages and go through their timeline to see what is going on, see what they've posted, because it, for a long time, hasn't shown up in my news feed. So once again, yet another attack on truth. Let's not let's not play around with words here or cherry coat anything. That is what it is. It's an attack on truth. It's an attack on freedom. It's an attack on intelligence. And by that, I mean our own individual intelligence. Folks, social media is trying to mop up a mess made by those in control because we were using their platform against them.